Kibbe and Finnegan Show, episode number 62. Back in the saddle we are.
We're back. Again.
You know what? This will go out St. Paddy's Day week.
Really?
So I have something for you. I found this song on the internet.
Oh, did you?
It's called Finnegan's Wake. You want to hear a little bit of it?
I'd love to. Sure.
One morning Tim felt rather full, his head felt heavy which made him shake. Fell from a ladder and he burst his skull, so they carried him home, his corpse awake.
Anyway, the gist of it is he has a horrible drinking problem, falls off a ladder drunk, dies.
What?
And then at his wake, all of the other Irish people put booze around him because on the off chance he's not dead, when he wakes up, he might like something to drink. Made me think of you.
That's good people. I don't know what that says about me, the fact that you immediately thought of me.
Well,
I'm sure it was just because of the name.
It had your name in it. Thus I thought of you. But the more you listen to that song, the more you tap your toes. I will tell you that.
St. Paddy's Day. It's one of my favorite holidays.
I'll bet it is.
Few holidays would ever prompt a people to dye their river green on purpose.
Yeah, that's a Chicago thing. Is that an Atlanta thing too? Do they have a river in Atlanta?
We have rivers out here, but no.
Dye them green?
Doesn't happen here, no. But all across the land, there will be green beer.
That is
green
true.
Clothes. I will be in Jekyll Island, which is south of Georgia. I don't even know if it's an actual island. Yeah, it is. It's an actual island right off the end of Georgia there. And I will be there for Caffeine and Octane at the Beach. Really cool show.
Yeah.
And Brian Fuller puts it on. And the guys from Caffeine and Octane, which is like it's a local car show here in Georgia. And it's a TV show too now. What am I saying? It's a TV show also. And anyway, it's like if you picture kind of like Pebble Beach, but not just for snooty rich folks. It's kind of like that. Like you'll see really expensive cars, Ferraris, Lambos parked next to, my pile of crap 55 Chevy on the grass outside of a really nice convention center that is just in front of the ocean. It's really cool. Yeah, really cool setting. And this is the second year they've done it. I was there last year. And I'm going there this year with my family, and I'm going to hang out and probably drink a lot at the bar there on Jekyll Island.
I don't want to fool you here. I'm going to get hammered.
Yeah, I'm going to get housed on St. Paddy's Day.
Here's a clip of Finnegan sort of housed. You might like this. Let me see if I can play this here.
It is March 8th, 2018. I am in Chandler, Arizona, and my wife has something to declare.
He's right.
Right?
He's right.
I was right.
Just once.
There's alcohol involved, yes, but still.
And I think it's March 9th
World?
because it's like 1:30 in the morning.
World, there was a man who was right. Tonight. Celebrate. Celebrate.
This has been shared with me by a number of people.
I don't even know what I was right about, but I was so excited that I, as a man, made a comment, and she did not dispute it. In fact, even said, yeah, you're right. That I was like, holy crap, I need to document this.
What?
Someone needs to erect a monument right here in the hallway of this hotel.
My wife even said, have you seen this? Is he drunk? Like, I don't know. I'd love to know what he was right about, though.
I was drunk on righteousness. That's what I was drunk on. I was literally like, oh my God. Because, I love my wife. And she has the strongest personality of any woman I think I've ever met. And it's one of the more attractive qualities about her. And so it's rare that I can tell her anything because she's very intelligent. If it's a car thing, she won't argue it at all. But just general life, or common sense, there's nothing I can say that she doesn't already know the answer to, or knows when I'm wrong. And I happened to mention something when we stepped out of the elevator, and she's like, "Yeah, you're right." I was like, "Oh snap! Let me get out my phone right here, selfie video. Let me put this on the gram."
So you don't know what it was?
No, I was drunk. I don't even know what we were talking about. Because we had just come back. We went away this weekend, she and I, for the first time in 6 years together with no kids. Like she and I have not been alone on a vacation in 6 years together without the kids. And we were at a casino gambling, having a good time, and we were on our way back to the hotel room when I was right. What? I have no idea.
Someday,
celebration.
I will know what that was. But today,
I have no idea.
Today, all that matters is it did happen.
I wonder if she remembers what I was right about. I'm sure she won't tell me now that I've blown up her spot on the World Wide Webs.
It does seem like she would know, just based on her ability to know stuff.
Yeah, and she was drinking too, though. I mean, she might not remember. I don't know. It was a good evening.
Yeah, you never know.
I'm gonna go back there a year from now just to celebrate.
Should get the same room, whatever you do.
Even if there's no monument, I'm going back to that hallway.
Good. Okay. Well, so lots has been happening. Number one, we missed like a week where we didn't put a show out. We just couldn't get it done. But that's okay. Corn Dog came in and subbed last week.
Thank you.
And he went like OCD generally knowledge, just dropping bombs on people like 225 70 14, no 235 60 15, depends on the air. And it was well appreciated. I think every now and then we just need to have a Corn Dog mind dump episode where he just spits out a bunch of stuff and then walks away like in a daze. Worked well. But this episode I've been particularly looking forward to.
I think I know why. It's not even the episode as much as it is what you get to reveal.
There's a friend of yours is now here in Iowa on his way, or her way, I guess, to you. Your 68 Charger has left Minnesota and is now in Iowa.
Man.
And
one
dude,
step closer. This
thing is so fantastic. I cannot tell you how cool it is.
I can't wait.
I didn't even think about it so first of all, I need to thank Rodney, my buddy Rodney, publicly. I've used Rodney's trailer so many times, and Rodney usually goes with me, and he went with me this time too.
Did he go because of what kind of car you were about to pick up, or was you just heading out to deal?
No, he's not that lame. No, he was going for the car.
Let's back up for those folks that maybe just tuned in for the first time.
Good.
If you don't know already, Kibbe and I are big fans of the show The Dukes of Hazzard, and we have always wanted to have a Dodge Charger 68, 69 generally, and Kibbe finally got his earlier this year, which is just amazing. I'm over the moon for that.
Yeah.
He has always wanted to clone, what was it, season 2 or 3 generally, nicely. He wants a nice Dodge Charger. I, on the other hand, want a really crappy Dodge Charger that I can just drive around in the dirt and slide and crash into things and not care about. And he, thanks to a listener, found the perfect car. Not a straight body panel on this thing, but also because the owner, I guess the original owner, converted to a dirt track car in the late 70s or early 80s. It has a ton of racing patina on it. And I've not seen it in person. I've just seen photos, but he just picked it up for me.
It's a race car, man. And I would love to know when it was last raced. But I interviewed Richard Petty once, early on when I started Muscle Car Place. And as I was looking at this car, I was seeing all this stuff that he had said in interviews of what they used to do to early stock cars to make them work, especially on dirt. So it looks like it has truck wheels. It's got to have truck hubs on it. They're like 8-lug wheels.
Right.
It's big drum brakes all the way, but they're huge. I mean, they're that big around drum brakes. It has 3 shocks on the front end, 2 on the right and 1 on the left.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. On the rear end, the rear of the leaf springs, after the rear axle, pop up through the trunk floor and the shackles are upside down. They're in the trunk. This thing sits so low. I mean, you're gonna tear up with awesomeness when you see it. It is low. She is on the ground.
So in the photos, I really didn't even notice that it was particularly low because I got so caught up in the wheel and tire package is just epic, and the way the fenders have just been hand flared, with a baseball bat or something, it kind of you don't get the vibe that this car is low because there's a pretty good gap between the fender and the tire.
Yeah, so Jason, who had the car, went back and forth with Jason because Rodney was nice enough to measure his trailer, like wheel well to wheel well. Like, are we gonna get this car in? Because in the pictures it looks like a mile wide, right?
Right.
And we thought this is not gonna happen. So Rodney went and measured his trailer, and then Jason measured his car like twice, and we cleared about an inch, well, half an inch, on either side. But the front of the car, even though it does have all of its sheet metal, it kind of sandwiches in a little bit. So the hood, it's a Dodge Charger hood, but it mostly fits. but it did pop up once, and I just kind of moved it around and got back on the hood pins and put it all back down. But where the hinges would be, it looks like those little clips that you'd put like on a cabinet that kept opening, those little hook things like with an eyelet.
Yeah.
That's how the hood is held on one side. The other side is just not. It does have glass in it. The front and rear, the windshield and then the rear glass, they're glass, but they're removable. Like there's just clamps with bolts on them. You could remove it probably by hand.
All right. No silicone.
No, I don't think so.
All right, cool.
You never stop being fascinated by the cool crap you're finding. So to get the car in, they had a forklift, and they put tires in front of the forklift, and they just kind of gently pushed on the back. Rodney got inside to steer, and then the rest of us were either pushing or looking to see, do we go left, do we go right? And then we got it most of the way up the ramp, and then we kind of had to stop with the forklift, and then we just pushed it the rest of the way in, and then got it all cinched down. But while I was getting something else done, I saw something on the dash that, what is that? And it's the mirrors. And it's this long rectangular box with 3 separate mirrors inside of it, all at a little bit of different angle. And that's all so that while you're strapped into the seat, you can see who's behind you or who's to the side of you.
Wow.
The tack on the dash needs to go in the Smithsonian for coolness. I don't know what it is, but I love it. I can't remember the brand of it. It's like
is it like an old Jones cable driven tack or something, or
I don't know that it's Jones.
I have so many questions.
What
you met Jason, right? Like I've talked to him on the phone once, and we've texted a little bit, and I keep asking him. I'm like, dude, I want to track down the original owner, which I think is Joe Barry. It's on the door of the car, and every owner in between Jason and him. I think Jason is like the 3rd or 4th owner, and I keep asking, do you know any of these people? Do you have any contact info that I can get from you so I can start contacting these people? Because I want to get the car running, and I don't think I ever want to restore it, but I would like to road trip it back to as many of these owners as I can meet. Yeah. And find out about this thing. And he really hasn't given me any info yet. I'm not sure why, but maybe another phone call is.
He may not have it. It's hard to say.
Because I don't know where he got it from. I don't know if he bought it off eBay locally. I know nothing.
He got it out of Indiana. I guess I did learn that part. So he has some information on it. I'm sure he'll hear this and send it your way.
Right.
But he didn't have it for very long, so he may just not know all the history on it. But just like you, as soon as he saw it, he fell in love with it and had to have it. He didn't ask a lot of questions. Like I don't need to know much. I just need it.
Yeah. See, I wonder what the circumstances were. Was it parked on the side of the road? Was it in somebody's barn? Was it on eBay? Like, because it's a really interesting car. Like the rear axle is ridiculous. It looks like
it's a banjo. Somebody finally told me what it was. It's a banjo axle.
Okay, but yeah, it looks like late 40s, early 50s Dodge truck or something.
Yeah, it's definitely a truck. But I shared a picture with Corn Dog, and he said, that's a banjo axle. I said, what?
Yeah, and what is that? I have no idea.
It's like imagine a Ford 9-inch rear end turned sideways with the gear sets, so that you can easily pull the gear set auto left or right. Somehow, with another magical attachment, the drive shaft show comes out of the front the correct way. But it was I think it was like an old-fashioned way to quickly change gears. Wow. My understanding is it's like you said, it's an old truck axle style, But Hot Rods have it, like Speedway Motors has a bunch of stuff like that. Summit has it. I just started Googling things while we were driving back. Just like, what is this? And dude, I didn't even see it because when we got the car all loaded up, everything was cinched down. Then we stopped maybe 10 miles down the road just to make sure everything's still tight. And I was crawling underneath just to make sure that everything was where I had put it. And like, oh my Lord, what is that?
Yeah.
Picture. And I mean, when I was under it, I mean, I was crawling on my belly under it because it's so low. You are going to be floored by it. It's clearly been sitting a while because it's coated in surface rust everywhere on the bottom. Other than the driver's side floor pan, like where your heels would be, that's about the only spot I could actually see that probably had to get patched, like repaired.
Yeah.
Everything else was kind of coated in surface rust. Where they needed to make mods, they did. They just cut a hole and something would go through. The whole car is skin. So it's a full race car chassis. There's
what do you mean?
Like,
the whole car is skin.
Like it's a Charger, but pull all the guts out of the doors, and all that's there is just the door skin. But a full cage is in the car, including door bars. That's all in there. It truly is a stock car.
You said something interesting earlier. Car. You said it had 2 shocks on one side and one on the other. Do you think this was just a left-hand turning car?
I would think so, because I really started digging into like the whole front end. Like, why does this go here and where does this go here? There is no second shock mount on the driver's side at all. So it was clearly set up to be exactly like it is right now. Like you can do whatever you want to do with this car, but if this were my car, I'd throw a set of Penske's on it, make the thing run, and that's it. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah. I don't want to
cool.
Yeah, I don't want to restore it. If I do anything, I would put it up on its side, get all of the scale off the bottom of it and the suspension and everything, and paint everything under the car just so that it doesn't rot away, and just leave it the rest of the way, and then headlights, taillights, register it, get it running, and just drive it around because it's just so cool looking.
It's built for dirt. It wants to slide. It can't help itself.
Oh man, we're doing that.
It's
definitely doing that.
So great.
Wow.
So I am really happy for you, and I think we can figure this out off the air, but I think I can get down there sooner than later. I've been checking out my schedule, and quite frankly, I don't think I should deprive you of this car any longer than necessary for the justice of humanity.
Hey man, you want to come down next week? I'll be home.
I'll be around.
I'm down.
No problem. But no, it's really cool. And Rodney, thank you again for the help and the use of the trailer.
Yes.
And we're not going to say Rodney's last name because your car is literally sitting in his trailer at his, let's say it's a farm.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah.
Somewhere in Iowa.
And thank you, Jason. I am so excited about this car. Man.
All right. I'm going to entertain you with a little game here.
Okay.
Now, I know you're a movie buff, and I know that we're a week out of it. But did you happen to catch any news of the Oscars? Do you follow the Oscars at all?
Not really. I mean, it's been all over the news, so I know some of it, but I didn't watch it. I don't get to watch it.
Do you know who won, like, Best Picture?
Yeah, it's a movie I'd probably never see, and I don't know anything about what The Shape of Water is about, but I think that's what won.
I don't either. You're right. It absolutely won. I have not seen it. I've been told that it's kind of like, what was that movie with Tom Hanks and he married the mermaid, Daryl Hannah?
Oh, yeah.
Splash.
Yeah.
Imagine that the dude is the mermaid, but the chick is a weird scientist who's mute. And instead of a mermaid, he's more like a swamp monster. And for some reason, there's lots of interaction.
Fish loving? You know what? Until a movie like, Spaceballs wins an Academy Award, I'm really not going to have a lot of interest in the Oscars. I'm not.
That's quite true. Now, I'm going to tell you something else here, and then we're going to play a celebrity piece of news here relative to the Oscars.
Okay.
This was sent in by a listener, Josh Laney. Josh says, guys, I love the show. I've heard you mention Ernie Brown a few times, and he's the actor from the first episode that drives one of the cars, and he also is Dobro. He's the guy who plays Dobro, Cooter's cousin. Well, I was looking around, and I found that he also goes by the name Ernie Lively. He is the father of Blake Lively.
What?
I thought you guys, mostly
Ooh.
Finnegan, would find this interesting.
Hell yeah.
Although I find it quite interesting. Again, thanks for the shows and the entertainment. Blake Lively. Now, I don't think Blake Lively has won an Oscar. But I can tell you she's a very gifted person for a lot of other reasons.
Yes. She's really the only reason I humored my wife and sat down and watched any episode of Gossip Girl. Only reason.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is play a celebrity game starting with Miss Blake Lively, set to the music from the 1998 Oscar-winning Best Picture Titanic. Okay?
Okay.
Now, this is a little bit of Celine Dion here. And I've seen an Instagram page that does nothing but set moments to this song because it makes them seem more impactful. Celine can bring it, no matter what you think of Celine here. Here's the game. You ready?
Yeah.
Celebrity nose job. True or false?
Oh.
Number 1, Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, I think she's had some work done.
You are right. Jennifer Aniston.
Definitely.
Jennifer Grey.
Ruined her career. Did it.
Yep. Giselle Bündchen. Tom Brady's wife.
Man, I have no idea. I'm going to say no. I don't... wait a minute. No. Yeah, she's had work done.
Right again. Tyra Banks.
Wow. Yes.
Yep. Scarlett Johansson.
Wow. I want to say no, but I don't know.
It's a yes, according to the internet.
Still love you, baby.
Paris Hilton.
God, don't care, but yeah, why not?
Yeah, you're right. Olivia Wilde.
They seem to be all yeses. She, I would hope, didn't, but yeah.
That's probably yes. Cameron Diaz is a definite yes. I'm just giving you that one. Tom Cruise. I think this might be the only dude on the list here.
Jesus. Did he? I don't know. Looks like he's had his teeth done. He's got crazy teeth.
He used to have the weatherman gap. But that's gone now. Ashley Simpson.
Yes.
LaToya Jackson.
I have no idea. I haven't seen a photo of her in years. But, I mean, let's just keep the speak alive.
Yes.
Yeah, speak's been modified.
Janet Jackson.
Yes.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
He's out here several times. Actually, he's on the list 4 times.
I believe he's had his nose done multiple times.
And then we're going to end with Miss Blake Lively. Did this beauty, this Dukes of Hazzard born woman, did this woman who was babysat by Catherine Bach herself have work done?
I'm going to say yes, and I don't care.
You are right. I do not care. Thus concludes the first game of Celebrity Nose Job. Probably the last.
You put a lot of effort into that. Good game. Way to hustle.
Oh, I found a page on the internet that just kind of lists all this stuff with pictures, and I picked the ones that seemed like the most legit.
Thank you for making it so easy by only picking ones that did have their beak altered.
I prefer to go that way. And I have even more good news for you other than Celebrity Birthday. Guess who's back for this episode? To sponsor our listeners and give deals. Bernie?
Oh,
yeah. Bernie's always here.
Well, we haven't done burning questions with Bernie in a while. I thought that's where we were going. Oh. But no, you're talking about Harry's, huh?
I am talking about Harry's, and we do have a burning Bernie. You're going to have to give me a minute on the burning Bernie one. But Harry's is back. I just got my new Harry's pack with shave balm.
Dude, the shaving cream. I still have the first one I got from them. And
really?
It kicks butt, and it's just everlasting. Yeah.
I've gone through... So I bought a second shave bottle, like a little travel one, because I started using the travel one too much, and then I got the big bottle. Now I got the shave balm. Now I got the razors. I am a customer for life. I even bought through our deal just to get the deal. But it is
dude, our deal is good, man.
It is a great deal. It gets you a trial set for free. All you got to do is pay shipping.
Here's the thing. Here's what you want to know about Harry's, all right?
Okay.
Started by a guy named Jeff, another guy named Andy, and like most of us, they realized it cost too much to shave, man. So they got rid of everything you didn't need. You don't have their razor, you don't have a vibrating handle, you don't have heated and air conditioned blades, you don't have any of that stuff. And so consequently, the stuff is at a really good price, and I've saved so much money by not buying the stuff I used to buy and by switching to Harry's. And right now, we have a killer offer. Harry's is so confident you're going to love their blades that they're going to give you a free trial shave set, right? Go to harrys.com/KAFS. You go there, sign up. All you got to do is pay for shipping. It's a $13 value. You're going to dig it. You're going to get a trial set with a weighted ergonomic razor handle, 5 precision engineered blades with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade, because that's all you need. You're going to get the rich lathering shave gel and a travel blade cover. So you want that stuff, go to harrys.com/KAFS right now. That's harrys.com/KAFS.
Did you say heated and air conditioned blades?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that picture on the internet where it's like got 15 blades in it? It's like this big.
I might have bought something like that once just because I was like, well, it's got to be better, right? No, it's not.
No, it's not going to work. It's not going to be as good as Harry's. That's a pretty sweet deal. Let me give you a little bit of news here. I don't actually have the Burning Bernies all queued up here, but I have some kind of interesting stuff that's popped out on the internet. Curious on your take for this before we get to our review of the Blues Brothers today. The Grand Tour. Have you watched the Grand Tour at all on Amazon?
I saw the very first episode and maybe the second one, and then just ran out of time to watch television.
So me too. And the exact same thing. I think I saw most of one and some of two, and there's just so many options out there right now. I just didn't make it a priority. It is ending after its 3rd season on Amazon. I don't think they've even started production on the 3rd season, but after the end of the 3rd season, they're going to stop. And why that is, I don't really know. I don't know if it's canceled. I don't know if they're going back to TV. Not a clue.
Well, I wonder what their original contract was for, because, they got lured away from the BBC. Well, 2 of the 3 did. 3rd one was fired by the BBC. But I know Amazon paid them a boatload of money to come make the Grand Tour.
Yeah.
And that was going to be Amazon's flagship show to bring customers and get people to sign up. Maybe it's not working. I don't know.
Hard to say. Like, what's happening with Motor Trend on Demand? I mean, are you seeing that spike up and up and up?
I think it's doing well. I'm not privy to a lot of the back end stuff, but I know that since Discovery Communications, merged with the Enthusiast Network, and they've got all that Velocity and Discovery programming they've been putting on MotorTrendOnDemand.com. I believe it's working. I believe they're getting more subscribers, where before, it was a good deal and there was some really neat programming on there. Now there's just a deluge of programming. So you can't really say, hey, I'm not getting enough for my money now if you go there, because it's inexpensive. It really is. It's like $5 a month or something.
Is the show with Aaron Kaufman on there by chance?
Yeah. I watched it. I watched the first episode. Yep. It was cool. It wasn't
looks like a good show.
Yeah, it wasn't, dramatic. And I don't mean that like it wasn't good. I mean, it just wasn't, there weren't guys in a shop throwing wrenches at each other and, which, it wasn't your typical TV show, which I think a lot of people are burned out on. So that was cool to see. And, Kaufman's a fun guy to listen to, and obviously he's very good at what he does. So
he's, it's been interesting to get to know him a little better off of, not Gas Monkey Garage, what's it called? Fast and Loud. He's just a car builder. That's all he wants to do. And he has a serious passion for Ford trucks, those early to mid 60s Ford trucks. I think that's what his shop is there for. It's Arclight Fabrication is there to build those shops. Like in the front, our buddy who does C10 Talk, he went and interviewed him in person.
Oh, Ronnie?
Yeah. And he was talking about all these neat things in his shop. Like in the front of the shop is a barber shop. Like you can go there and get just a cool haircut. There's also another place
that's
where
great.
people can come in that are like make leather goods and just craftspeople that want a place to set up. There's another place in the front of the hot rod shop for that. He's taken a very unique approach to this, in addition to building the kind of trucks that he wants to build. I remember his frustration with being on TV, and there were two problems. Number one, he wanted to build better cars, and that the TV schedule just would not allow that. And number two, it really reverted back to number one almost every time. The schedule was dictating having to make choices that he was not okay making, or frustrated by having to make. So I'm really interested to see this one. I don't have a Motor Trend On Demand subscription. I need one. I should just get one. The one thing I'm wrestling with is I have subscription. I got a Netflix. I got an Amazon Prime. I still have normal DirecTV. And I'm to the point now where I'm just thinking, now, wait a minute. How many subscriptions am I going to have? This is going to be like I had cable again. Like, if I add all these things up, like $200 a month in entertainment.
It's funny you mention that, because I think that's going to be our future. Is TV is going to be a la carte, and you're just going to pay for the stuff you actually want.
That's true.
Because even linear cable television channels like Discovery, there's a streaming service for Discovery, which is where his show is at. But like you said, it's also on MotorTrendOnDemand.com. I don't know. I don't know him real well at all. If you guys ever watched the episode of Fast and Loud where Roadkill was a part of, I've actually not seen it all the way through, but the sum total of whatever you see me on screen with Aaron is the only interaction I've ever had with him. But I'm actually going to be, I think, in the same room with him this weekend.
Oh, cool.
At on Jackal Island. He's going to be there, from what I'm told, and there's like a panel discussion of people who work on television on car shows, and they're going to be in a room with fans that get to ask questions, basically.
Cool.
And so, it'll be cool, because I've never hung out with him. Like when we went and filmed the Fast and Loud thing and the Roadkill show thing, we kind of met and shook hands, and then Freiberger and him raced, and then it was all over and everybody celebrated, and that was it. So I don't know him at all. So it'll be interesting to see if I can, kind of figure out what he's like in real life versus what he's like on television.
Find out. Mike in real life is very subdued, kind of boring,
lazy. That's what that is.
Very good. I got to show you something cool before we get to our movie review. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Okay, I waited to open this until you got here. We've been sent some artwork.
It's a manila envelope.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. This is from Dustin Merch. He has sent us some artwork. You ready for this? Actually, He has sent multiple artworks. Let's see if you can see this okay.
Oh, so Kibbe just held up a really cool drawing of our logo, the Kibbe and Finnegan show, and underneath is a drawing of a General Lee and Kibbe and I, or at least it looks like me and a porn star are in the General Lee together.
You and somebody. You are clearly you. It's like the beard and the hat and the glasses.
Yeah. You are. Do you have a goatee? Wait. Hold that back up.
I think I just have some distinct features. Some manly feet. He gave me a little more hair than I have. That's
Okay, well, stop moving. Stop moving around. Yeah, so it's me and then me again, but with no hat. This is weird.
I definitely have a more manly look in this one than I seem to have in real life.
You got facial hair, it looks like, from here.
But it's really cool. And at the bottom it says, just some good old boys having fun. It's really neat. So he sent a little note in here. It says, Mike and Rob, thanks for doing such a great show. This drawing is just something I did for fun. I hope you like it. I sent 2 other drawings in there for Mike. I'm going to show you those in a second. These are just ideas in my head. I thought they might give you some inspiration or nightmares. Either way, I enjoy drawing them. If you ever have a need for concept art, please let me know. I do this for a living. I don't do this for a living, just as a hobby. Thanks again, Dustin Merch from Utah. So here's yeah, that's really cool. So let me show you 2 more here. These are 2 trucks ideas for you. Okay, ready? All right, here's number 1.
Okay, this one is called Chops.
Chopson?
What is that? Chopson?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's the Roadkill Datsun.
Yeah.
Pinstriped out. It's got a side pipe. It's got white walls. That is cool, man. That is
Slammed
really
out.
cool.
I dig that. That's pretty cool. Okay. Here's another one. Here's the other one.
Oh, dude, he's got the Finnegan's Garage logo, and he's got my C10. That is cool. It's got flames.
Mm-hmm.
Flat on the ground. That is really cool. I like
It is
Thanks,
cool.
Tom.
When I come down to bring you your charger, I will bring all this with me.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's really cool. Dustin, that's
More wall art for the man cave.
you bet.
One of
Yeah.
these days, I'm going to decorate that place and actually hang all the stuff that I've got. Because I've got a lot of stuff like that.
That's cool. So I
Get around to
made
that one day. Whenever people, it's funny, a lot of comments on my YouTube channel are, when are you going to drywall the walls of your garage? And the answer is probably never, because I could either drywall the walls of the garage or work on the cars in the garage, and I can't do both at the same time.
Something's got to take priority there.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand that, but that's cool. We've actually got something else, but I'm saving that for the next episode. That's a pretty neat one too. So here's what we're gonna do in this episode. Oh, yeah, I want to do this here. We decided to take a little break on this episode. I changed my mind again. I was gonna give you something else, but we're actually kind of running long. So it's time to get to the Blues Brothers. We're taking a Dukes of Hazzard break today, and we're going to the Blues Brothers for two reasons. One, we both know this movie really well, and we didn't have to prepare a lot. Two, there is no two. This is this is
You don't need another reason to review this movie. I have a number 2.
Yeah, what's your number 2?
This probably applies to you, maybe.
Let's have it.
I didn't have time to watch it, and yet we can still do this because I've seen it 20 times.
I have too. This movie to me is as much about the action and the cars as the music. I love this. I have the soundtrack. I have it on my phone still. It was one of the first CDs that made its way into my Chevelle when I got a CD player in 1994. I love it. All right, so here we go. The Blues Brothers, written by Dan Aykroyd and John Landis, directed by John Landis. Original debut in the theaters, June 20th, 1980. Now, Mike, I know you haven't prepared anything, but can you give people the gist of what this wonderful movie is about?
I think I can. Yeah.
All right, let's have it.
Before I do that, I did try to watch this, right? And I was trying to download it off Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed there's 2 versions on the Amazon.
What?
There's the one you saw in the theaters, and then there's an extended version. And the weird thing I noticed about the extended version is that it doesn't credit John Landis as directing it. It credits somebody else. I don't know what that's all about, but
Who?
yeah, just thought but it's like another 8 or 10 minutes long. And so I'm curious
I have
what was added.
Well, I have a DVD set, and there are a number of extra scenes in there, including one that explains why the Bluesmobile is kind of magical.
Oh yeah, how it's parked under an electric transformer, and
that's
that
the thing.
gets cut out of the movie.
That gives it its powers, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's
All right,
the
anyway.
movie about?
All right, so here's this movie, Blues Brothers, and the basic premise here is 2 brothers. One's in jail. He gets out of jail, and his brother Elwood lets him know that the orphanage that they grew up in, which is on church property, is in danger of closing down because the church no longer wants to pay the taxes on the property. Mm-hmm. And I think the total is $5,000 or something there. So they put together a plan to raise the money for their orphanage by resurrecting their band, the Blues Brothers. And the entire movie is spent tracking down the various members of the band and then putting on a concert to raise the money. The problem is the Blues Brothers are dirtbags and quickly break the law and end up on the run from the police throughout the entire movie. I mean, this movie ends with the greatest car chase ever. Well, second. The chase scene in Bullet is just as good, if not a little slightly better. But it ends in an amazing car chase, and ultimately the guys getting the money to the Cook County Commissioner's office on time and literally handing the money over for the orphanage and getting the cuffs slapped on them. And when you really think about this movie is a musical.
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This movie is a musical and it has fantastic music. The soundtrack, like you said, is amazing. And some of the performers in here, you have James Brown, you have Ray Charles, you have Aretha Franklin, John Lee Hooker. I mean, it's amazing. And if you're not into blues music, watch this movie. By the end of it, you will be into the Blues Brothers. And I have nothing prepared. I have nothing written down, but here are a few small facts that I do know. So the movie's based on two characters from SNL. And these two characters, played by John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, they weren't a part of SNL, but they grabbed various members from the Saturday Night Live band, and they would open up the show. They would warm up the audience before the show began.
Mm-hmm.
And the reception was so good that ultimately it became a skit on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
And then they decided to take it out on the road, and they built an actual band. They recruited actual famous blues musicians to fill out the band.
Like
Donald Duck
musicians.
Dunn.
Great
Yeah,
ones.
Matt Guitar Murphy. These were all legitimate musicians, not actors, for the movie. And then so they went out on the road, and they were opening up for other bands, and they were so good that they realized we should just turn this into a movie and capitalize on all of this, and they did. And Aykroyd wrote the script, and a typical script, like a screenplay, is about 120 to 160 pages long. He wrote one that included a backstory for every member of the band, and when he was done, he had written a 350 or 60 page screenplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then John Landis had to come in there and whittle that down into what ultimately turns into a movie that stars Nazis and Pintos backflipping through the air and, 99 cop cars getting totaled, crashing through a mall. I mean, the movie's amazing. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. So, in my opinion, this is a 10 out of 10 truck stop country fair corn dogs. It's amazing.
It absolutely is. I went back and looked, I did a radio segment last summer on local sports radio to rank like a number of things, and there was the top 5 movie car chases. While you were talking, I went back and looked. This was my number 1 pick. I love this chase. I can watch it over and over, and it makes me laugh every time. And the hero car here, yet another Mopar. How many Mopars end up being a hero car? I've started to realize that more and more. But it's a 74 Dodge Monaco, and in the movie, you know what? I pulled some clips here. We can just let Elwood kind of introduce this one. It's this one.
It's got a cop motor, a 440 cubic inch plant. It's got cop tires, cop suspension, cop shocks. It was a model made before catalytic converters, so it'll run good on regular gas. What do you say? Is it the new Bluesmobile or what?
So do you know why Landis picked this car?
No.
He picked it because Belushi was into cars. And Belushi was very particular about what they were going to use. They picked this because this was the hot new cop car, like in real life. And they needed a car that could actually outrun the cop cars in the movie. And when they were filming that final chase scene, that was run at full speed. They were going 100 miles an hour down Lower Acker Avenue in Chicago. They had to film on like Saturdays and Sundays when there weren't as many people there. And they had a PA with a walkie-talkie in every doorway of every building to make sure nobody walked out onto a curb as they were hauling ass down the street filming. Like, it's badass, dude.
My buddy Pat Randall, when he was a kid, his dad was on a business trip in Chicago in late 1979 or early 1980. And it just so happened there was this weird movie being filmed, and they were doing a chase scene under Lower Acker Drive. So he went outside to see it, and he saw the Bluesmobile boom, go by at 110. And he just remembered that. And when it came out, he took his whole family to see it at the drive-in just to see what it was. But yeah, that scene you're talking about, like, that's real. They really did it. In fact, I think they did it a few times because the first time there were no like pedestrians nearby, and Landis was worried like people are going to think we just sped the film up. There's no reference here. We got to put other people out there. And they put the bikes out there and everything about it, including the little jumps over the cop cars where they look at each other or like right before they miss hitting the bikes and go, whoo, and you see the cigarette packs just flying across the dash while they're turning. I mean, they are screaming fast in there. So I went and pulled some info here. I'll bet you know all this stuff off the top of your head. Most of it I learned. All the musician stuff I think we kind of knew, but it was Paul Schaefer who was supposed to be the keyboard player, not Murph Dunn. Paul Schaefer had
couldn't get out of his contract though.
Yeah, there was something went amiss there, and so he made it in the next Blues Brothers movie, but it ended up being Murph of the Magic Tones, who's a big deal probably because of this movie. Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi met at Dan Aykroyd's bar in Toronto, and Aykroyd just came in, and Belushi just came in. All Belushi knew was rock music, like AC/DC. And Aykroyd was like the blues lover. And he goes, wait a minute, you're from Chicago? Let me show you what you're missing here. And he started playing records all night. And that got Belushi hooked on it right there.
Belushi was a metalhead.
Yeah, he was a
full-blown metalhead.
Strange dude. Like he, at one night on the set of the movie, and the movie had, part of the budget of the movie included cocaine to keep people awake and to keep people entertained. And one night, John Belushi left, probably high on cocaine, went to a guy's house, ate the food out of his fridge, and fell asleep on his couch. And Aykroyd went and found him, and the guy said, yeah, Belushi's in here. And the guy who owned the house just let him in because he recognized him, and he thought he was funny, and gave him a sandwich, I guess. John Belushi lost his sunglasses after every scene. He'd set them down, forget them, have to get another one. There were 13 Bluesmobiles. And they were all ex-California Highway Patrol cars, real cars. They really were cop cars, $400 a piece. That's what they paid for them. Let's see. So what?
Carrie Fisher is in this movie.
She's like smoking hot too.
Yeah, she did.
This is Dan Aykroyd saved her life.
No, I didn't know that.
He gave her the Heimlich maneuver. She was choking on some food in this. He gave her the Heimlich maneuver, saved her life, and they became engaged.
Whoa, I didn't know Aykroyd was engaged to Princess Leia.
They did not get married. The engagement fell apart, but they were engaged as a result of this movie. John Wayne's son is in it, and he's a stunt driver. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
The Pinto that gets dropped from the sky, they had to do an FAA unairworthiness test on it to prove that it would not like catch flight and drift into town and like hit a building or something. They had to prove that it would just drop like a rock.
They said that they were able to hit a mark, like a target, 40 feet round from however high up that thing was, 500 feet. They were able to drop the car and hit it to prove to the FAA that they could before they made the movie.
I've always loved you.
So the Pinto's falling from the sky with the two Nazis in it, and the driver turns to him and goes, I've always loved you. And then they embrace, and then the car hits the ground and they die.
It's pretty perfect.
I dropped that on Freiberger once during a Roadkill episode. I don't think I'm pretty sure he didn't know what I was talking about.
Did you grab that one?
No, it was great.
John Candy in this one kills me. There's tell you what.
3 orange whips.
Who wants an orange whip? Orange whip? Orange whip? 3 orange whips.
And we'll do this one.
Hi. Want to hand me the mic? Thanks a lot. Hi, this is car, what number are we? 55. Car 55. We're in a truck.
He's basically his same character from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, just as a cop. You want to hear Box Office Mojo on it?
Sure. Wow.
Okay. This is 1979, I guess $1980. $115.3 million. That's $366 million today.
Dude, that's a big opening.
That's bank. There is a Dukes of Hazzard connection, actually a couple. Henry Gibson is the leader of the Nazis. He was also in a Dukes of Hazzard episode that we've already reviewed. He was part of that singing troupe that kidnapped Loretta Lynn.
That's right.
And then
in the RV.
Yeah, in the RV. And Charles Napier, who in this one is the leader of the Good Old Boys, lead singer of the band, and driver of the RV. He's in like the next Dukes episode we're going to review. I'm talking.
Charles Napier was a dick in a lot of movies in the 80s.
He was. He's in Austin Powers, and that one's actually he's kind of funny in that one.
There's a scene in this movie, and it's classic, where the Blues Brothers get their band back together and they need to rehearse, they need to practice. So they decide to play a small bar, and it's a kicking bar. Mm-hmm. And they show up. They don't actually have the gig, but Charles Napier's band, the Good Old Boys, are late. Mm-hmm. So the Blues Brothers roll over there, scam their way onto stage, And before they go on, they ask the bar owner and his wife, like, what kind of music do they normally have here? And the bar owner's wife goes, "Oh, we got both kinds, country and western."
That's one of the clips I put. Okay, it kills me every time. Okay, celebrity cameos in here. I learned some in here. There's Pee Wee Herman. Everybody knows that one. He's in there. He's one of the. He's the waiter in the restaurant. Mr. T is apparently in this movie. Uncredited.
Didn't notice.
Twiggy, the British model actress, she's in it. She's the one that waits for Elwood. Shaka Khan is apparently in here.
Didn't notice that either.
Did you know Steven Spielberg is in it? And he has a speaking role.
I'm trying to picture him now.
I had to, once I read it, then I went back and I found it. Frank
Oz is in this. He's the jail guy with the condom.
Yes, he is.
Where is Spielberg at in this movie?
Spielberg is the Cook County assessor's office guy. Like when they have the money and they go into the building and he opens the door with the sandwich. Like, can I help you? That's Steven Spielberg. He writes him.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either until I was getting ready for this one. And then finally, the mall. When they go through the mall, this was a real shopping mall that had been closed that they kind of revamped just to make the movie. And then after the movie, it was half smashed, and it stayed half smashed and was a public nuisance for the next 25 years until it was finally tore down. But in this one, there were several stores in there that were still wearing their original lore. Toys R Us, JCPenney, and Walgreens. They were all in there, but some of those stores did not want to be associated with this movie at all. So they had their names wiped off. I think, I don't have it in here. Hickory Farms, I think, removed themselves. Walgreens would not let their storefront be used in there. There was a number of really neat things in there. I like that.
I'll tell you something interesting about the mall scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they needed to outfit the entire mall because it was vacant, right? So they struck deals with all these companies, and these companies brought in their own employees to stock all the shelves and put the stores together to make them look like they were in operation. And they cut a deal where anything that got destroyed, the movie would pay for. Anything that didn't get destroyed, the employees would take back to the manufacturers, right? Well, they had a security company on site because it was a complete mall full of stuff to guard all of the stuff when they weren't filming, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, the security guards were ripping off all of the merchandise from the mall. So then they had to call a second security company, local police, to watch the original security company to keep everything from being stolen during production of the movie.
I've seen on YouTube somebody went and drove through that mall before they tore it down, like in a bluesmobile.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. This is a 10 out of 10 movie for me too. This one is good and funny every time.
And it holds up. Doesn't matter how old it gets.
It's perfect. Let me give you what does SCMOD stand for? Do you know this one?
State, County, Municipal Offender Data System.
Perfect. I'll just play it because you got it perfect. Let's see here.
Man, I haven't been pulled over in 6 months. I bet those cops have got SCMODs.
SCMODs?
State, County, Municipal Offender Data System.
It's awesome because when they run his driver's license through their primitive computer, it just brings up like 39 traffic infractions. And it says like arrest driver, impound vehicle.
Step out of the car, Elwood. It's just my favorite, like, drive, gone. He's gone so fast. Yet another perfect movie. So this is a good one. I have even more clips. I'll shove these all after the credits of the show. This is a perfect one. In the next episode, we'll get back to the Dukes of Hazzard, of course. Okay,
Indeed.
So for your car, what is the Finnegan fleet plan here? Because the 55 is back basically in fighting shape, right?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go test it Tuesday. I have good update on the car's together. It's running. I've worked out the tune on the street, part throttle, cruises, drive, starts, everything's good. now I'm going to go back to the local drag strip and try and see if it goes straight and goes fast. If it does, I am currently registered and ready to go for Drag Week in September. And
Awesome.
my goal is to keep the car alive between now and then and try to enter and finish Drag Week in the gasser class. So
Cool.
that's the goal. So
Good for
yeah, and then the ramp truck, the diesel swap, still not done because I was working on the 55 again, trying to get it ready for a little race I have coming up. And then my goal for this year was just get the turbo boat done and go drive that this summer and have fun and get the ramp truck together. So those are my two big projects. And then the Charger fell in my lap. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Like the Charger could very well just sit here. I don't have a date with the car. I don't need to have it done unless we roadkill it. It's either going to sit there, or I'll be so excited to work on it, I'll shelve all my other stuff like I usually do and just put that car together. I don't know.
I assure you, you are going to shed a tear of joy when the door of this trailer opens. You're going to, oh, my
can't
plans have
wait.
changed.
When are you bringing it? Now I might not sleep tonight.
Okay, I'm thinking a week from tomorrow. So as soon as I get back from San Antonio, I think I got it worked out so I can just turn and burn right down to you.
Yeah, dude, that's perfect. That is perfect.
That is my
I will be
current
home.
plan. I will have just enough time to get it there, help you unload it, Google over it, drink 3 beers, and then I'll probably turn around and leave. That is,
Stay an hour. Let's record a show.
well, we could do that too. But it's
From inside the car.
I'm going to need to borrow a bucket.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
where I'll sit.
I think there's a roll bar there. You may not be able to sit in the car.
I did spot a spot for myself in there. There's a place I can sit. You won't be able to see me directly, but
You'll be in there. That's all that matters.
you're gonna dig that too. Okay, well, everybody, I didn't even tell you this, but you can get this show on iTunes and iHeartRadio and Google Play and Stitcher and wherever you get it. We're glad you get it. If you get it on iTunes, please leave a rating. That really helps us. And we're on the Instagrams, Kibbe and Finnegan Show. The show lives on the Muscle Car Place. That's where it gets pushed out. And Finnegan's on the internet. And we put these shows on the YouTube page that he hosts, and it's called Finnegan's Garage, and it's awesome. Mike, what are all your things?
Yeah, you can see the video version of the show, like he said, on Finnegan's Garage on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram at Finnegan999, on Twitter at MikeFinnegan999, and on Facebook at Mike.Finnegan/news.
Cool. Mike, thank you as always. Everybody, thanks for listening. This year is getting good. We both got Chargers
really
this
is.
year.
I know.
Now we just got to make it turn more money so we stop spending money. But that'll be okay. That's
Yeah.
baby steps. Baby steps. All right. I'll see you later.
Later.